Okay, thanks for reaching out. Sorry for not getting this to you. Things got crazy. I actually did this over the weekend, but I didn't have a chance to record the video. So, what's today? What's today? The 15th. Okay, this date's wrong. I didn't do it on the 10th, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. First thing I want to point out is one big aspect of SEO is performance. And we don't need to get into too much detail here since you're performing good on all the core web vitals. I'd be happy to explain this waterfall chart and everything else if you'd like, but you're doing everything good and your web page loads pretty good. Let me just show you. Whoops. So that's really quick. So nothing to worry about there, right? So I wouldn't spend any time on that. But if you want help understanding how to use these waterfall charts and stuff just for your own benefit, I can totally help you with that. Here's my plug. I also do security stuff. I do security audits. It's a lot more than just installing a plugin. But so there we go. I did make this video on how to install and configure the iTheme Security Pro. So it's the paid version of the plugin. I think it's the only video on YouTube that talks about going over it. The security is a lot more than just a plugin. But basically, if you want, I have an agency license for this plugin. So if you want, I can just give it to you if you want. It'd save you like $70 a year. And if you would just want to configure it yourself, this is how to do it. If you want help doing it, let me know. And then all the other security stuff. So like I said, it's a lot more than a plugin, but that's a resource for you. Oh, performance. I also have your website's fast, but I also have an agency license for WP Rocket, but probably not something you want to worry with. So blogs are important. So why blogs are important is it helps give you topical authority. So let's say you have let me go here. You have a blog, but if I remember correctly, like I did these a few days ago, as I said, it hasn't been updated in a while, like 2017, right? So that's not good. I mean, you can pay people to write content. I have people that I can refer you to if you want to pay for it. It'd be good just to get one once a month, right? If you do once a week, that's fine, but once a month is good. Basically, it gives you topical authority on the topic. And why this is important is people aren't going to really come to your website to get information. Well, they might come for your company if they do renovation service near me or whatever. But people are going to come to your blog over time. And well, let me say it this way. Because you have articles. Okay, I didn't actually look at these. These aren't really that good. Well, this is good right here. Homeowners Maintenance Checklist, Fall Edition. Now, this is something I would update. I would set a calendar reminder every year and go update it, and I would put like the all-in-one Homeowners Maintenance Checklist Fall Edition 2022. Because people search for that stuff. They search for Homeowners Maintenance Checklist 2022, 2023, right? So this is how you bring people to your website, and then you plug your services in the content. Well, most people that read this content aren't going to be in your area. Let me see sorry, I should remember all this. You are in, where are you guys at? Staten Island, right, okay. But here's why it's important. The more people that go to your blog and read your content, and Google's starting to see that people are actually absorbing your content, staying on the page, not abandoning it, or there's a word for that, I can't even think of what it is. But it's going to start to realize your website is legitimate. And the next time, eventually, you're going to start appearing higher and higher in the rankings when somebody searches for renovation services, Long Island. Is that what it was? Sorry, memory's so bad. Staten Island. Staten Island, yeah. So that's why it's important. I have a whole process for this here. And this is kind of, I just have so much to do. I am working on, this is just really ugly, but it kind of goes over the steps. Some of it's repetitive. But if you really want to understand how to do this, basically, it's an entire process. I made a video on it, of course. 33 minutes, 6 views, something like that, because people are curious. It's called my Qualify and Conquer process. You basically only want to write content that people are searching on. So how to qualify it. And then conquer it. So how to write it, right? How to actually deliver the content so people are going to get to it. You don't want to write so people will click on the link and actually like the content. You don't want to write content that it's already being answered 8,000 times. You don't want to have content that people aren't asking, right? So this is a really cool process. I know it's all these other videos I'm giving you are pretty long, but if you really want to get a handle on this stuff, I highly suggest take an evening perhaps and watch it. You can always do, you know, playback speed. I think my voice sounds okay. So let's say we're going to work on, let me see, what pet food can be fed to hedgehogs. So you want to focus on intent, right? Yeah. So you could watch at 1.5 the playback speed. So, and I could go, if you want me to get into more detail on any of these, let me know. But if I did that, it would literally, this video would be 3 hours long. I used to do it, and the videos just went on forever. But like I said, I can give you a lot more information if you need to. So, local SEO. It's all about relevance, proximity, and prominence. Relevance is how relevant is your website to the search. Obviously, if somebody searches for Bank Staten Island, you're not going to show up. Proximity. How close are you to that person issuing the query? If they're in... Pull this up so I can use exact words and city names rather than just giving you a generic answer. Assuming I can find Staten Island. Okay, I think this is it here. Let's just say it's here. I'm not going to waste too much time on this. Let's say it's right here. Okay, let's say that's your business right here. Let's say there's another renovation company right here where this pin is and another one right here. If somebody searches for renovation company right here, there's a good chance, or one of the factors in your favor is that you're really close to it. More so than this one and this one. So that's what proximity means. So even if somebody is in, I don't know how far New York City goes. Okay, there's New York. So this is Long Island, I think. I don't even know, man. I haven't been in New York in years. I lived in Boston, so we go there every so often. But we were younger and, you know, didn't pay attention to all this stuff. So if somebody searches for renovation services, you know, here, near me, there's probably a bunch of other renovation companies before they get to yours. Right? Doesn't mean you're not going to show up, but I'm saying that is a thing that could affect your ranking. And there's ways to test that. You can use this tool called GMB Crush, and I have a video on that, that explains how you can emulate the zip code. So if you want to, generally that's a good way to search it to see how you're showing up, is to fool Google into using the zip code where your business is, if you're not already there. 50% of GMB pages earn at least 1,000 views per month, so Google My Business, that's how important it is. 84% of businesses are found with discovery searches, meaning plumber near me, renovation services near me, not your business name, so you can see how important that is. And website clicks from GMB are up about 30% from 2018. And this is a 2021 number, so I'm sure that's even more. Okay, here's my GMB Crush video. Basically is a really good extension. Oops, hold on. Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to... Let me see, Google My Business, competitive research with GMB Crush, okay, yeah. So these are really good extensions that help you. Basically, anytime you're doing something for SEO purposes, you want to look at the top results. What are they doing and mimic those? Because that's what Google's expecting. This is basically an extension that allows you to gather that data and does a lot more stuff. So watch this. And again, if you need more specific information on this, I can totally help you. So yeah, look at the top ranking local results. And what I also like to look at is other markets. So let's say, like I live near LSU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. If I was trying to rank for like a plumber near me, there's not much, it's pretty easy to rank for a plumber in Baton Rouge. Not totally easy, but it's a smaller city. Now, if I was like in a smaller city, it would be pretty easy. Baton Rouge is a pretty decent sized city. So I could get some good information there, but it's not that competitive. So what I would also look at plumber websites in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, because those are 3 huge markets, and you can imagine those are pretty cutthroat. You're in New York, so yours is probably pretty cutthroat, but I also would look at Chicago and Los Angeles to see what they're doing. Right? So you just got to do this research up front. Buy Local is a really cool tool. They have a free tool you can use free. I can't spell, but Google will correct me. I don't want to click their ad and cost them money, since I know that's really annoying when people do it to my advertisements. So they have this free tool, and they'll give it to you for free for 10 days, I think. And all you want to do with this tool, I mean, it's a great tool, but I use as many free tools as possible. This is just another tool that'd be nice to have, but I don't want to deal with it or pay for it. But how this is useful is get it and run the free audit and see what the results are. And you're going to get a lot of good information, then act on those results. And then I don't think last I checked, you didn't even need a credit card to do it, so you don't got to worry about that. So that's something I would suggest doing. Okay, so this is a sticky area. in GMB, Google My Business, I looked at your info. By the way, up here, you need to find out what this is here. Somebody's offering corrections to your profile, and you need to either approve those or figure out what's going on. That could be a problem. And if you don't, that's a signal to Google that you're not on top of anything, right? I mean, not on top of your profile. So maybe it'll rank. I don't know. Maybe it'll rank you lower, maybe it won't. But it makes sense that might be something they look to. So I Googled your address, and it's a house. So you're not. It's against. I don't think there's a. I didn't see a business over here. Yeah, it's a house. This is against Google My Business policy, and your account could get suspended. So, about 2 years ago, a mass purge of companies doing this got their Google My Business profile suspended. A lot of them didn't ever get their profile back. So you can imagine how that would damage your business. So what you need to do is basically just get rid of your address and just set up your service areas. Right? I can get into that with more detail to you as well, but that could be it's right now it's not a problem, but if it makes sense that Google could to implement AI, and look for, is this address a business address or a residential address at some point? And if it sees it's a residential address and you don't have a sign for your business out front, you could get suspended. So that's something I would do immediately. Are your service areas accurate? So I went here and I noticed Suffolk County. Let me turn that off 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. So you have Suffolk County, Orange County. So I did this. I think Suffolk is like New York City, I think. Who knows? Can't keep up with this stuff. Okay, I think this red down here is Suffolk County. All this. So let's just say this is it. I think that's what that red means, right? So that's that. Now let's go to the next one. Orange County. Okay, so that's somewhere up here. Up here. I used to work at IBM. I think we used to go to Poughkeepsie. Armonk, New York, I think it was. I think that was the headquarters, actually. And then New Jersey. So you have these weird areas that are here, way up here, and then New Jersey, which is like somewhere over here. I don't know, like over here, I guess. So what about all these other areas in between? It's very, like you have here, but what about like here? What about New York City? Assuming, I don't know if that's part of the county. What about here? What about up here? So there's just a lot of gaps. Normally, if you have a service area, you want to circle a specific area. And you're not doing that. You could use zip codes. You could use anything you want to get that accurate. But that's something you need to get on as well. Because it's just, I doubt you serve here and here, but you don't serve in between those two. Moving along. Hopefully you're finding this useful. Hey, keep your socials up to date. It's annoying. Socials are very annoying. But on social, it's just a signal. We think that socials are ranking signals, and you don't have to. For you might want to just do Facebook, maybe Pinterest, or the big thing for you is before and after photos. That's the stuff that's going to impress people. Now you don't want to. So in a Facebook post, you could just do before and after. One a week. Once if you have like three a week. It's also something you'd want to post in your Google My Business images. See, it's annoying to do it, but just keep your socials up to date. I don't remember actually. I don't think you have any socials, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so just go ahead and create those. You probably won't use Twitter, but go ahead and create it anyway. You never know if you're going to need it. Create your Facebook, your TikTok. You see a lot of lawyers and plumbers and stuff like that on TikTok. Like, for example, a plumber will show you how to fix a drain or whatever, and that just gives them good brand exposure. And they're getting that good backlink, too, from even the TikTok may be like a no-follow link, I don't know. But it's brand exposure. That's how people are finding companies on all of these newer platforms. So hopefully that makes sense. Moving along. How many pages we got here? We have 7 pages. Okay. Okay, so this is something I don't think any client I've ever had does this. You need to I set calendar reminders for everything because I will forget. Once a month, go to this homepage and look at these updates. Look, okay, I can get a $500 free advertising credit. That's cool. I didn't know I could do that, right? So let's do that. Directly on your Google search and maps. This is a new feature. Now that may not excite you, whatever, but there was a ton of COVID stuff in here that was important. There's something I thought that was new. Stay connected. Enter product. They had call tracking on here somewhere. Maybe it's not on yours. It might be beta testing or something. But basically, you want to come here and just make sure there's nothing new that you shouldn't be doing. Like update your business hours, right? Even though your hours are just not sure what to think about those either, because you're not open 24 hours a day. So that's something we'd have to think about. Okay, you have an alert. That's basically what I was showing you earlier. This here. Accept all for this location. So we need to dig in there and find out where that issue is. Okay, here it is. Service options. So we need to figure out what that is. Okay, so anytime you have a service, you have a lot of overlapping services. This is just confusing for people, and it's also confusing for the Google search algorithm. So you have carpenter. Let's see if I can find one. So drywall installation for remodeler. You also have it up here. So you can imagine this is pretty confusing. I would just probably have, I understand what you're doing. I think as a remodeler you do drywall installation. As a deck builder, as a home builder you do drywall installation. I don't think I would have all those. Let me think about that. If I did, all of those would have to correlate with all of my... So maybe that's what you're doing. Okay, that's actually... I don't think that's bad. But what you need to do here, in these services, you definitely need to... You may not be able to set a price. You need to... Anytime Google... There's something that says use what Google gives you. If Google gives you a text area of 300 characters to type something in, that's where you'd want to type it. And you need to do the keyword research, and I show you in that Create and Conquer video how to do keyword research. I can get into that in more detail if you want. And you also include all of your geo information. So your, Staten Island, the geo keywords in here, and all the other places that you service, right? So if you're going to do this, it needs to be a specific description for drywall installation in regards to a carpenter. Now, the other thing you need to do that you're not doing is for every service you have listed here, you need to have a correlating or a corresponding service landing page. And I don't see those. So that's something you definitely would do. Yeah, see, you don't want a service page. You don't want a service page for carpenter drywall installation. Remodeler drywall installation. Like, you don't want all those here. I actually would remove those services. Follow up with me. Let me research it a little bit. But each one of those services, sorry, here, all these need to have landing pages. Also, the home improvement store, which is not accurate, and we can get into that. We are going to get into that. Whatever your main category is, that needs to be here. Preferably in the meta description up here in the H1, right? And I think your primary category should be home renovation, or what is it? Let me see. Was it home builder? Well, I'm going to show you real quick how to figure this out. So, right here you have renovation services. So I'm going to do renovation services. Let's just do New York. I'm going to bring up Google Maps, and this is using GMB Crush. And I go over this in that video. Let me just show you how this works. And there's also an extension called Plepper, P-L-E-P-E-R, right here. So these are the top results, and you can go in and get a lot of really good information. So let me just click on this and show you. Okay, so you can go here and do look at categories and stuff like that. But the easiest thing to do is to use this Plepper extension, P-L-E-P-E-R, and I lost it because I Let's do it again. Let me just do this. Okay, here it is. So all of these listings, the top categories are general contractor, kitchen remodeler, bathroom remodeler, contractor, construction company, blah, blah, blah. You want to make sure you have all of these categories in your business profile. Now, you have a lot of them. I think there was a couple that you were missing. I think for you, the obvious one would be would be remodeler. Home improvement store, I don't think at all is what you are. So that's confusing. I would make it probably, let's see. These are all different kind of companies. What you want to do is look at the top results. Let's go to Renovation. Let's look, since the company does the same thing you do, let's say, and it's not like actually a home improvement store or whatever. Let's see. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. It says we are crushing. Let's just give it a second. So this is the GMB crush in action. And it's not going to make a lot of sense to you right now, but when you watch that video, it will. Okay, this is what you want to see. The only category they're using is contractor. That's coming from Plepper. But let me just let this GMB crush finish up. Oh, okay, yeah, it's still going. And I don't think I can pause it because it'll mess it up. But it should be finishing here shortly. So I'll say this. You basically want to look at what your competitors are doing, and you want to map whatever's in your Google My Business profile, or I guess they call it Google Professional, whatever they call it, business profile, whatever. I don't even know what they call it anymore. Business profile. See, I'm not doing anything. This is the okay, you can see here. So let me finish that thought. You want to map what's going on in your Google My Business profile on your website. And it's also really good for Google Ads purposes. So their main thing is contractor, no additional categories. So that's actually kind of disappointing. I was hoping, since that's the top ranking one, we would find other categories that specific result is using. So you want to look at, let me do this one more time. Let me just do this. What was it? Renovation Services New York. So I would use, what was the one we decided on? Remodeler, or what of these that's most applicable? I definitely don't think it's home improvement store. Then for the second one, if you're a general contractor, you may not be a general contractor. If you're not, don't use it. So I don't think you probably are a general contractor. So then whatever one gets the second most, you'd want to use this as your second category, third category, fourth category, etc., etc. But don't use categories that you are not. I generally don't like using more than like 3 or 4 categories. This is quite a bit. So just make sure you are, you're not really a construction company. I don't think. So that is that. And I don't have my video about that. I'm making a video on how to do all that. It's how to configure Google My Business. So it should be up shortly. If you ping me in a week or so, I'll probably have it up. Yeah, so anytime like you're doing a page title or you're doing any page, you want to put the keywords for whatever you're trying to rank for, but don't forget to put the keywords that are specific to the location. Right? So in your title pages, it should be, let me show you this. Also, this menu wasn't appearing yesterday. It was kind of blank. Let me see. So you might want to look at that. Okay, well, it's appearing. None of these would show up except the one I had highlighted. But that doesn't look. Go figure. I don't like it so strange like that. So this should be. Yeah, there's a lot more that needs to be here, and like the font's different than this, so it kind of looks tacky. Definitely needs to be more thought put into this, but it should be like drywall and painting services, Staten Island, New York, and even more keywords like home drywall and painting services, then office drywall and painting, whatever. So those are the keywords we would need to research, and there's a whole process for that. Okay, so let's say your primary keyword we've determined is going to be carpenter, which it's not going to be. Let's just say that. You'd want to make sure on your home page, I wouldn't put that as the main H1 right here. Or at least here in the top part. We went over this. So use keywords that people are actually searching for, and there's a whole process for this. So let's say if you're selling, I can't think of a good example for you right now. Let me just think. Let me look at these. Construction. Okay, let's say you have a page for. Okay, let's say you have a page for construction. Let's say somebody wants to do looking for construction specific to a loft. So they would search, and that may not even make sense. So it would be loft construction services. If you don't mention loft anywhere on your page, you're not going to show up in the results. So you have to do some research and determine for the word construction, what other keywords are people using. All right. Custom woodwork. Like what kind of custom woodwork? Custom woodwork for antiques. Custom woodwork for chairs. You know, that's not a great example, but hopefully you get the idea. People a lot of times leave out those specific keywords people are using. Right? Now Google can figure a lot of it out. It's getting better and better, but you want to give it as much information as possible. Like, what is granite installation? So that would be like industrial, real estate, granite installation, whatever. Google loves bullet points. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Google loves bullet points. So you definitely would want to redo these service pages. And if you look at the top results for these, most of them have bullet points. Like 1, 2, 3, and it's real clean. It's just good from a human being reading it point of view. Another thing, this is becoming less and less common. I like to put in the footer areas served. Staten Island, Manhattan, and that may be the same thing, I don't even know. Newark, New Jersey, etc., down here. So we just want those keywords on this homepage so Google understands the areas you serve. Even though it's in your Google My Business Services, right? It's just another thing. And also, you're putting that keyword on your page. What a lot of people sometimes do is create specific geo pages for those locations. But it can just be really cumbersome. So on every page, service page, as a bullet points, see how the menu's blank? So something's messed up there. I would have it in the footer. These areas served. Then here, see, this is a little bit better, but these should be headings, so Google understands this is a heading. I would have bullet points like towards the bottom, areas served, then list the 10 or 15 cities that you serve, or counties or whatever. Okay, moving along. Use keywords for known points of interest. So if you had those geo landing pages, you would want to put stuff like New York City is known for having Yankee Stadium. Like, you know, we also have, now I can't think of anything in New York, Wall Street, right? So Google has an understanding of what to do there. You also want to put the map in the footer. I don't think I put that. Put map in the footer, the Google map. Okay, so any time you're using a keyword of a service you have, quality, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time. Let's say you had, where'd it go? You were selling quality building products. You would want to take this and link to your quality building products page. Now, anytime you have a blog post, you always want to at least plug your services with links to those services at least a couple times in the blog post. So that will help people find that content, but it's also a signal to Google if there's multiple blog posts that every time kitchens and bathrooms is mentioned in a blog post, it goes to this page. That tells Google this is the important page related to kitchens and bathrooms on this website. This is where I need to be sending them. Let me see. Okay, moving along. Taking a little longer than I thought because I don't like. I know this can just be time consuming for people to watch, but some people do this and most people won't give you a video, but if they do, it's like 10 minutes long and they don't really cover anything. It's very frustrating. Where are we at? Okay. I don't even know what this is. This might be from, let me see. Oh, this is an example of a good post. Look at these nice, bright, those are probably H2s. These aren't bullet points, but you get the idea. And these are this is just very well written. And so you're like, well, I don't want to write all that. That's a pain in the butt. So I have somebody, if you want, or you can find somebody in Fiverr that will write content for you. Or what a lot of people do is just go look for the top 5 results for finished carpentry and custom woodwork, and look at how the top results are writing their content, right? Like I have a blog that I don't really update as much anymore. It just answers a lot of weird questions. How is liquid smoke made? What vegetables are in vegetable? Do insects get fat? So a lot of random questions. What I'm trying to tell you is I have no idea what these answers are. I just look at the top few results and I combine them into a content piece that answers using what I think of are the best of both, the best parts of those content pieces. Now the goal for mine is to answer questions concisely, so these aren't long content pieces. And I don't get as much traffic as I used to, honestly, because I don't keep up to date with it. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. Google Posts. So one thing you're not doing now, Google Posts. Here, these are part of your what is it? Business Profile Manager. I never can remember. Okay, I didn't see this last time, so that's good. So you are doing it. I would also put in here. Before and after is always the best things. For any type of remodeling service or cleaning service, before and afters are the best things. Any blog post should go in here. So yeah, you're doing it, but I would focus on the before and after. This is really good, but I would do before and after for sure. Incorrect attributes. So if you go to, looks like you just went into the attributes and selected them all. I'll show you down here. And look at what are your hours? See, it's weird for you because I think you just work out of your home, right? I don't think you don't have a storefront, so it's kind of odd for you, but. So that's something I have to think about. Where am I going? Services, where are the attributes at? Attributes, right? So you have all these. Identifies as black owned. Are you black? Okay, yeah. So you can't be black owned and Latino owned at the same time. Well, maybe if you're like, a couple. Possible, it's possible. I don't know. But it looks like you basically, to me, it looks like you just selected all of them. Like you don't have Wi-Fi for free at your house. You're not giving that away for free. LGBT, hopefully you're LGBT friendly, mask required. See, I think you just went and selected them all. So this is something I would go back and correct it. You don't want to select all these options if they're not true. Because normally people have like a handful of these things, like 4 or 5. They don't have, it looks like you have dozens. Address inconsistency. What did I do about? Okay, that's actually referencing. We went over the address thing, right? You can't use your home address. So make sure you get in all the citations. I noticed business isn't listed in a lot of the big directories like Apple Maps. Most people forget about Apple Maps, Bing Places. Those are the equivalent of Google My Business on those 2 platforms. Also, like Yahoo Local, Facebook, Google, Yelp, any of those niche directories. So you could do home remodeler near me. Look, so you found out, okay, this is how do I get on this list? Best remodelers near me, March 22. Yelp, okay. So basically, you want to see where your competition's listed. Another thing you can do is you could just search for your competitor's name and see where they're listed. And you need to get in those directories. Look, that makes sense. So you'll see here, this is a free scan. It's not that great because it's free. But I'm just going to show you. And let me get a sip of water while this is happening. So what we're doing here, that Bright Local tool I told you about, does this in a lot more detail. Okay, so you can see your present score according to Moz, which is a very respectable SEO company. Let me see something. Pemberton, Staten Island. Okay, all these addresses. Okay, you can see that things are so inconsistent. The phone number here is different than the phone number here. You're not even in some of these platforms. Now, you may not want to be in navme.com, whatever, but the point is, look at this. Here it's Gemina's cleaning service. All right, at that address, and this is 92 Pemberton. So all these need to be consistent. So whatever the actual address is in the business name, you need to go here, put it here, and get rid of all these other ones that are conflicting with it. Now, perhaps that's your wife or husband or whatever business that's also at your house. So at that address, I would maybe put, like, if that's the case, you could do like 114 Pemberton Avenue, Avenue Unit 2, and then Unit 3 or something like that. And I've done that so I can detect where things are coming from. At my house, let's say it's 3414 Main Street, and I would put 3414 Main Street Unit 300. They would still drop it off, even though there's obviously not 300s. Like I live in a house, right? So you can see those inconsistencies there. So that's a big problem. Make better descriptions, include you. Okay, so your meta descriptions. Oh, thought I had this up. This is a site spider. If it ever comes up, I think I loaded it twice. No, I didn't. No. So what this basically shows you, whoops, it scans the whole website, and it can show you like all the titles, all of the redirects, all of the broken links, all of the meta descriptions. So what you would do, you want to look at all your titles here and see which ones aren't optimal. If Google gives you 60 characters, that goes back again to use what Google gives you. If they give you like what does tile and granite mean? Tile and granite, that should say tile and granite installation and repair services, or whatever the actual verbiage is. Then if you have room, put your geo information in there as well. So these are all the titles of all the pages on your website. Meta descriptions. You don't have any meta descriptions. Actually, I'm sorry, you do, but not for many of them. And like these aren't good here. These are just kind of tacky. So I would get rid of those. Now the thing with meta descriptions, so meta descriptions is the thing that shows up on the Google search results below the title, that little thing of text. Now, even though if you put it in meta description, sometimes Google won't even use it. So I would go put them all in. And see, this is just something that's going to take time to go back through each one of these and put in. And in these, you would want to use all your keywords, and you would want to use all your geo information. If you're not going to put them, so to see how Google is displaying a result, site : website. Whoops. Why did that not work? Interesting. I thought that worked. Okay, you can do site : then the domain, and you can see how your meta descriptions are showing up. So for this example, let's just get the keyword from it. Home interior renovation. So we'll just do this. I can't even spell, but hopefully that's right. So site : means only show results from this domain. So this is probably the link. If not, I'm not even sure, but we'd dig down, but I'm not going to waste time on it. So let's say this is it. This is the meta description that's being displayed. Our goal is to create interior that exactly manages with the customer. And that's not bad. It's not bad, but they definitely can optimize these things. So this stuff's just going to take time. Okay. Moving along. Yeah, hours. Oh, no. This is a totally different thing. I'm sorry. This is your info here. This needs to be a lot longer because you get 780 characters, and there's a lot of like we offer : doesn't. I understand what you're saying, but you just want it to flow as like a paragraph. Bathroom remodel thinks that's not, even though that is accurate. But you want to use more keywords here. You do have deck design, construction. I would make sure everything you have as a service should be in here, and I would make sure you include all of the geo information, and that'll get you to about 750 characters. Okay, appointment link. Yeah, I don't think you had an appointment link. So add opening date there too. Where is... Did they remove appointment link? I guess they removed it. That is very weird. Hours, call history is on. Very peculiar. Let me just look up here. Okay. You used to be able to put an appointment link in there, and they could click on it and set up an appointment. And if you don't have an appointment page, you could just send them to your contact form. So I'm just going to make it. Go to this. We can check. You can check later. Use SEO-friendly image names. Before and after pics are great here. These can also be blog posts, right? So SEO image friendly picture names. This is mainly for your website, but you just want to name the image what it is. You don't want the image name to be 35277.jpg. You need it to actually label what it is. Because Google uses all this stuff to determine what's on your website. Like, if it's determining what is on a web page to possibly rank it, it looks at the title, the URL, what's in the text, the meta description, the image name, the image alt text, and I might be missing something, but you can see it takes all that into account. So the more opportunity you can use your keywords in a legitimate way, not in a spammy way, the better. Videos. So you're not doing any videos. Those are really good. So if you go to photos, again, this for you, this would go back to before and after. I think that would be really useful. A few years back, you had to hire somebody. But these days, you can just bring your iPhone or your Android phone and just quickly do it. It doesn't have to be that professional. Messaging. Just make sure you have this set up. This will, a little messaging button will appear if your business shows up, if somebody's searching for it on mobile. That's right. You want to give people as many avenues to contact you as possible. That's why also I would have live chat. You don't have live chat. I thought you did, but I was working with somebody else and you don't. Because a lot of people, including myself, I don't like talking on the phone, especially to somebody I'm trying to like buy something from, because I don't want to be sold on anything. So a lot of people will want to reach out to somebody on chat because it's more of a casual way. So it's something I definitely would install. There's free solutions. I can help you with that if you'd like. I think I mentioned, when I mention it down here, I'll bring up, it's called Tidio, T-I-D-I-O. Here, put it here. Now there's a premium version, but and you don't always have to be at your desk, right? If you're not there, it'll say, we're not here, send us a message. Okay. Call tracking, so set up call tracking. So this is something, when you need to set up goals in Google Analytics and conversions. My mind just went blank on the actual words because you want to see what you're doing is working, right? So you just need to set those up. You want to call tracking, blah, blah, blah. Questions and answers, create a fact. So create a FAQ on your web page, and you want to answer your own questions. So if you go here, so you need to have frequently asked questions. What do customers always ask you? And I'm sure you know this. There's a section here, questions and answers, right here. Whatever you put in your FAQ, of course, put that on your website, but you also want to ask and answer your own questions. And I don't think you actually answered this. So that's not good. And I have a whole, reviews are critical. You have 4 and a, looks like 4 3/4 review, average review rating. All right, hold on one second. And you're responding to all of them. The only thing that you're actually, I get into this in the document. We'll look at it way down, a little later. Keep an eye on your competition. Yeah, so you could just go, what are the Q&A of your competition? And then they'll use those Q&As. Okay. You could use FAQ schema. We don't really need to get into that, but reviews are critical. Here it is. Respond to all reviews. So what I like to do in my reviews is keywording matters in reviews, we think. So if somebody does works with you and they get the service of Windows and Door service, when you probably get to know these people a little bit. It's not like you're selling headphones and they're in and out. You probably get to know their dog's name, or they find out that they're New York Yankees fans. So in the review response, what you want to do, well, also asking for reviews too. So when you send them the email follow-up, you want to do something very personal. But in the Google My Business review response, you need to say, Joe, thanks for the service. Just to let you know, we also do carpentry and custom woodwork if you need any help with that. Well, that's important is you're getting more keywording in there. But also, let's say somebody's happens to be looking for somebody to do windows and doors and carpentry. They'll see that your business does both of them, right? So you can just kind of plug that. Now, the way you get reviews is you just have to ask for it. After a few days, and they're still happy because the fence you built them hasn't been blown over, right? You want to send them an email, and there's all these paid review automated solutions that are just horrible. Nobody responds to them because they don't like talking to robots. Or to just boilerplate messages. Send that person an email. Joe, hope the fence is okay. Make sure it's specific to them. I hope you and, Joan enjoyed that Yankees game. It was a good game, wasn't it? Something like, so it's very personal, right? So they know it's coming from you, and then ask for the review. If they don't do it, I would wait about a week and then ask again. And if they don't do it, then don't do it again. I have a whole strategy for that, not a whole way you can create links and stuff like that. If you want that, let me know. Reviews are one of the more critical things. Let me kill my MetaMask. It's like crypto stuff. 45 minutes. Okay. Help them with a review. If you feel comfortable enough, you could tell them what keywords to put in there. But that depends, like if you become good friends, you know what I mean? Encourage photos, a way to posting screenshots of your reviews are good for your photo section. They're good for Facebook. They're good for, I think I'm leaving something out. But yeah, so it's just another way to get a little content up there. Another thing that's really big, it might just be you that works there, but one thing a lot of companies have success in, because reviews are so important, give your employees, $10, $20, $30 for every review that they get. Whatever that amount is. A $10 gift card to Amazon, whatever it is. Because most people that work for, it's not their company, they aren't, what's the word I'm looking for? Invested in the company. It's like a 9-to-5 job for a lot of people. But if you offer them a reward to get a review, then they're a lot more prone to get that review, to reach out and actually take time doing it. If you do it and it's not working out, you can always cancel it. You know what I mean? You can just start at $5, whatever you're going to do. But it definitely, I don't know any company that's implemented that strategy and it's not worked. Okay, justification. So I'm not going to go into this. This is kind of obscure, but justifications are keywords that are highlighted in profiles, and whatever ones are highlighted, I go into it in that GMB Crush video. Whatever keywords are highlighted in your competitors' pages, you want to make sure you emphasize on those keywords. That's basically what that means. So Google Guaranteed is kind of cool. I don't know they only do it for certain businesses. Basically, your search result is going to get a little Google Guaranteed badge. So what it is they do a background check on all the employees and probably do a background check in your company. I've never implemented it, but I think it's, what is it like? I think I wrote it down. $600 per year, but it gives you that appearance of being trustworthy. And it also, I think, offers insurance to people who buy from you. So I think it's like $2,000. I don't know. You'd have to look into it, but I think it's pretty good. If I had a small business that was doing something like what you were doing, I think I might invest in it, at least for a year, and see what happens. Okay, local search ads are really good. I do some Google ads stuff. I'm not an expert, but I know how to get around. So if you want to read about Google search ads, you can see here, you'll show up as an ad. So that's something to consider. You don't even have to have, you don't need to spend $100 per month. Like, people think that they're going to get, I'm sorry, I got a crazy cat. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully the cat won't meow again, but if she does, we will pause it again. So this is just, you'll show up at the top of the results. You can do it as little as $5 a day, right? Just make sure you know what you're doing. A lot of people waste money because they don't know what they're doing. That's something I would test, see if it works. If it doesn't, you don't have to commit $10,000 to it. Just commit $5 a day to it. But I would get all of your website configured properly first with all those service pages, because the specific ad needs to correlate very specifically to the page you're sending it to. You don't want to run an ad and send it to your homepage. You want to, if you're doing like citing, you want to make sure it goes to a citing page, which is really well tuned and configured. Any awards, certifications, memberships, put those on the home page. Like those badges. Best of list. What did I type here? Best. Oh, any best of lists. Right? I showed you that above. Top 10 carpenters, top 10, etc., etc. Search for your company name. So this is, nothing came up for you. Just search for your company name. Make sure nothing comes up negative. Coupons. Coupons are a big thing. Not really SEO. This is just good business stuff. Giving away, well, this will lead to more reviews, which can affect SEO. So it's an indirect SEO thing. Give away something free. I have a lot of clients that are having success with this. Basically, imagine you need dental work. You go to 3 dentist homepages, and I guarantee you they all look the same. I guarantee you they're all going to we do this, we do that, and have pictures of people smiling. But what if you gave away, every client gets a $20 gift card? I would go to that dentist because everything looks the same, right? Or a $15 gift card. And you could advertise that on your website. You have to do things that what makes you different. That's the stuff that you need to stand out from your competition, and that's something I would definitely do. It's really working, especially for real estate agents that I work with. If you just meet with me, well, I'll give you $20 for real estate agents, and it totally works. So, Screaming Frog, I went over this a little bit. Okay, yeah, so I went over this, the better titles. We need to work on those. What keywords are searching to get there? What did I do here? That was supposed to be somewhere else. Sorry about that. That's an actual real estate agent I work with, I think. Let me double check that. Yeah, this isn't you. Okay, I think this guy's actually in New York, if I remember correctly. Anyway, moving along. Why you? This is something that is pretty critical and most people don't think about. Most people do about us, about me. And generally you want to put a picture in here. I would make this a little longer. Put things people can relate to. You're a Yankees fan, so it's more personable. But the big thing that most people do is why us? Like why, it's going back to my dentist example. Why would I choose you over your competition? Is there anything that sticks out? Do you offer like emergency service? I don't know your business obviously, but there's got to be something that makes you different. And you want to have a why us section here. You also want to include the little bullet points of why us on your homepage. So even if you don't want to put it up here, there needs to be a why us section somewhere here. I would put it up top because I want people to see it. Because if you watch people use your website using UserBob or Inspectlet, and I'll go over those briefly, what you'll find is people load your page, and this is what they do. They do this, they read this, then they scroll down, then they do this. They tune out. This is called above the fold. Anything above the bottom of the screen is above the fold. They really will go down one, then they'll start going real quickly. So anything that's you really want to stick out, you need to put that either above the fold or like on the second screen. So Inspectlet, as I just mentioned, Inspectlet is a little piece of JavaScript you can put on your website, and you can actually see people using your website. It's really cool. UserBob is different. This is a paid tool. I do this once per month. I spend $20, so I get 21-minute sessions and ask people to tell me what they think of my website. It's pretty cool. You get a lot of good feedback. But one thing you'll start noticing is you might see things that are broken. That's also with Inspectlet, right? So there's things that maybe it looks good on your site, but what if they're using a different version of a different web browser? I'm finding out that's a problem. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. Well, it's actually, if you use Firefox, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. My website, it looks all messed up on Firefox Mobile. That's right. So that's why we can't see it either. So that's the kind of stuff you'll find out by watching these sessions. So once a month, I'll do 20 sessions on UserBob, and I'll just watch them and see what's going on, right? I want to know if anything's broken. Could be your website's performing real slow and you just don't know about it. Whatever. Bonus for referrals, pretty obvious. Implement schema. We're not getting too much into it, but basically this implement schema, and it shows this website is a local business that does home remodeling. It gives context to what the website is. And this is a service, this is a video, this is FAQ, etc., etc. Services menu is blank, so that's what I showed you earlier right here. Something that's not good. Need to get that figured out. Set up Google Alerts. So put your company name as a Google Alert, so you get an email alert anytime your business name pops up. Like, imagine if somebody posted negative about your business and you didn't know about it. That would be a big problem. Get Google Search Console set up, which is, the dashboard for Google Search, and Google Analytics. Set up those conversions, set up those goals, and so you can see how much a lead costs, and you can see if your advertising is worthwhile, if it's even worth it. And you can get a good idea what people are doing. Monitor website with Uptime Robot, another free tool. There is a paid version, but this will basically send a probe to your website every 5 minutes. If it's down, you're going to get an alert. And I go over this on my security audit as well, why it's important. Basically, you just want to know if your website's down. It's not anything fancy. That's why you want to do it. Because if your website's down and people are trying to get to it using Google Chrome, it makes sense. Google knows that because they're using a Google browser, and it's going to report back to Google, the search team, or whatever, however they do it, that this website's down. If the website's down a lot, Google's not going to put you in the search rankings. Sometimes happen is people's websites go down in the middle of the night and they don't know it, because maybe sometimes a hosting provider, and I used to work at a hosting provider many, many years ago, we would, and I hate saying it, we needed to do something in an emergency, we would wait till the middle of the night and we would take the website down for 5 minutes because the owner would never know it, right? Now you'll know it. YouTube videos is another. How-to videos, DIY videos on YouTube are really, really big, especially for something like you're doing. That's going to give you brand recognition, brand awareness. It's going to get you all kinds of traffic, etc., etc. Now, don't get overwhelmed by all this stuff. This is just a lot of work, and I totally get that. So here's my tracking spreadsheet. So you won't be able to do all this stuff, and that's okay. Basically, what you want to track month to month are your metrics getting better, your Alexa ranking, your Google Analytics bounce rate, how many pages per session are people viewing, your goals in Google Analytics, your Google Search Console impressions, how many people are clicking on your result from Google Search. There's just all kinds. You don't have to track all this stuff, but this is something, a lot of people just track like 10 of these. This is Google My Business specific stuff. How many views are you getting from Google My Business specifically? How many website views are you getting from Google My Business? This is stuff you definitely want to track. So this is just something I would do once a month because you want to make sure you're going in the right direction. If you're not, then you're just wasting your time. So that's what that is. And this is my basic. So here's the video I made. This is my 6-month plan. You just want to track this once a month. That's actually what I like to do is you can use it free for I think 10 days without a credit. Let me make sure this is right. Wait. Yeah, okay. So this document, and I've updated a little bit since here. No, it's going to continue to be updated because things change all the time. This is this document. What I do isn't magic. This is exactly what I do if I take on a client for 6 months. And the reason it says finish is because things come up. Rarely are you going to finish this in 6 months. It's possible sometimes, but rarely are you going to do it with just one person especially. So I hope this helped you. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's something I can help you with. I'd certainly be happy to help. And we're at 56 minutes. And yeah, let me know. See ya. Thank you.